it wasn't, does she have to be the baddest woman or have the baddest body? I said, do you have to be initially attracted to her? Whether
I
it
think
is
so.
her smile or whatever
Mhm.
else. I feel like, and then you guys keep saying average as if average doesn't also mean attractive. You can be average and attractive. You don't have to be, like Via said, a IG model or have the most banging body. I'm just saying, do you have to see the person and be like, oh, she's cute, I like her? Or like some women will date a man that they have no attraction to. But because of everything else he brings to the table, they will learn to deal and love that man.
So
that's not
it's
men.
all like it's all situational. I mean, as long as she's not ugly, she got a shot. She got a chance. It's a slight, small percentage that y'all might just be out at a work Christmas party or something, and you wind up talking with somebody that's ugly, and they be like, "Oh, she was pretty cool." But I don't think that that's what they're going for. So as long as she's not but ugly, I think that she has a shot, an opportunity for that person to interact with her in a way where they're getting it to know 'em. Go
I,
ahead.
I feel as though
You said
dudes
this
got to
at the
be
front.
entirely attracted to the girl to fall in love, like what we traditionally would call being in love, like passionate. You got to be attracted to her from the jump. I think that guys can grow into comfort, and like I think men settle a lot. I think we settle a lot because we're willing to, like, we don't need to have all our boxes checked. We'll settle with what works and what's comfortable for the time being. But if you're talking about being head over heels in love, you got to be attracted to her. Like, I don't think any dude is falling head over heels in love for a woman he's not attracted to.
Mm.
Anytime you hear a man talk about being head over heels in love with a woman, is someone that he's attracted to, and that's not saying that she's quote unquote the baddest by arbitrary standards, but that's just saying to him, she drives him passionately wild. When he sees her, he wants her. When he sees her, you get what I'm saying? Like, she makes him like nervous sweat, whatever, because he wants her that bad. I feel like you don't grow into that. It's either it's there or it's not.
Mm. So
And
is there
No,
any
I definitely agree with that. I do feel like men settle a lot when it comes to like picking their mate. And the ones who are typically head over heels for their women are typically the ones that be a little crazy to me. Those be the ones that typically fall in love
man,
with
you
the.
got a
Man, you
lot
got
of
a
shit
lot of
going
shit
on
going
over
over
there.
there. You said what?
So you got
So
a
you
lot of
got a
shit
lot of
going
shit
on.
going on. No, that's what I just think. I feel like a man who's like head over heels for a woman, like as soon as he see her, like, oh shit, she like super, like she's kind of like super. He's super attracted to her. Those the ones that normally be like super head over her, or head over heels for her, kind of on the borderline, a little crazy over her.
Yeah,
Like,
but
yeah,
what
but
you're
when you're
explaining,
explaining,
what
what
you're
you're
explaining
explaining
is
is
not
not your
your typical
typical
man. You're
man.
talking
You're
about
talking
a
about
man
a
who
man who
doesn't
doesn't.
attract many women. You're talking about a man who doesn't attract many women. That's exactly what you're really talking about. You're talking about a guy like, wow, this is my first dime. I'm going to cherish this like it's the last piece of Coca-Cola on earth. That's really
That's
what
really
you're
what
really
you're
talking
really
about.
talking about.
Because that
Because that
level
level
of
of
reception, yeah, I'm getting a major echo.
Yeah,
You
that's
That
gotta turn
level
down
of
your volume.
reception
Ash. Yeah.
Your ash has to be muffin.
is not healthy.
You got it linked up against the table or something. The mic.
The mic. No, my thing was going on and off. That's why. But only is when
no,
only when I'm unmute.
no,
Your
man.
volume might be too loud, so your microphone is picking up feedback.
Can I add something to the conversation?
Go ahead.
I'm gonna be a nerd for a second because I'm always a nerd. But there are phases to love. There are phases to partnership, and it's really, really well researched. Like as Ty was saying, it's hormones, it's hormonal, it matters. But when you start that attraction phase, that's dopamine. We're all addicted to dopamine. We all have that, like, I need this instant gratification. Addiction is dopamine, scrolling is dopamine, like all the stuff that we do just because it feels good. That's your initial attraction phase. The second phase that I was talking about earlier is limerence, and that one is norepinephrine and phenylalanine, and like essentially it's like your stress hormones. And so that's the limerence phase where you're obsessed with that person. And that's the phase that people chase a lot of the time. So that's why someone else was saying, like, people want that initial feeling, and so then they'll leave, find it with somebody else, but then it wears off, and then they'll leave, find it with somebody else. Interestingly enough, limerence for women shows up right around 1 to 2 months mark, and it lasts for both genders about a year. For women, it shows up about the 1 to 2 month mark. For men, it shows up around the 5 to 7 month mark. Like, why do we think that is? So he sticks around for the baby, right? And so like that's when that limerence phase is. It's biological. Following that, you have the partnership phase. You've got the love phase, and the limerence phase has to wear off because those hormones are not compatible. You can't have the limerence hormones and the partnership hormones together. You can't, like, it just don't work in your body. But the partnership hormones are oxytocin, vasopressin, prolactin. So I think just from that neurobiological standpoint, it comes back to planning for what you want in your partner, knowing you're not going to be lusting after your partner forever. You're not going to feel obsessed with your partner forever. Yes, you should be attracted. You should still have a little bit of that dopamine, but you should not be releasing norepinephrine. You should not be essentially putting your brain on speed for that person all the time. And if you are, there's a problem. So no, it's not settling because that part wears off. It's supposed to. But, too many of us are focusing on that piece. We're focusing on how we feel right in this moment. And I want that instant gratification. We're not focusing on the long-term impact that's going to have on our life.
Mm-hmm.
Aria, let me ask you a quick question.
See, but go ahead.
Yeah. So obviously, the topic of hormones and sort of how people engage with the opposite sex has been brought up multiple times this evening. And sort of one of the things that I wonder is that does the inception of birth control and women using that, and then having a completely different a sense of attraction for a man when they're on it versus when they're not on it is completely different, because I have heard stories and I have read stories about this sort of phenomenon.
That does happen, and honestly, a lot of medications do it. So, medications, hormone changes, like life progression, a lot of that can do it, and a lot of that does matter. It doesn't necessarily matter for the oxytocin and vasopressin stage, which is like, and prolactin stage, which is like later. So, with regard to who I'm initially attracted to, it can matter because essentially, when you're taking a birth control, your body is halfway, because not both hormones, but halfway fooled into thinking that you're already pregnant. And so in that case, the woman is going to experience some of those limerence feelings a little bit earlier than she would have otherwise. But it doesn't necessarily matter for like the long-term piece. And I think as long as we, as either gender, either party, can recognize that those initial feelings are not the feelings that are going to stick around forever, and maybe we should be thinking a little bit more critically, it shouldn't matter for the long-term partnership piece.